Tell me why I had zero hope in this top. These are some of the nicest sweatpants we've seen from Alphalete in a while. This shouldn't be exciting, but it is. We wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. Okay, the reign of Alphalete itty bitty bras continues. All right, besties, grab a snack and maybe a notepad because we have a lot to cover today. We have a giant Alphalete Black Friday sale haul. And then of course we actually have to go over the Alphalete Black Friday sale, which is always one of my favorite sales of the entire year. And this is all happening quite early. We have the Alphalete Black Friday sale and drop happening on Monday, November 17th at noon Central Time. So that is over a week before actual Black Friday. The past couple years, everyone has been inching earlier and earlier, so make sure you know when this is happening. And we have a ton of stuff dropping. You guys, it's actually a really good launch. The last launch was kind of weird. It was like spring colors in the fall. It was basically just a big restock. We actually have like a true fall winter haul. We have fleeces, we have cargo sweatpants, we have a whole sweat set made of heavyweight fleece. We have full-length tops and we have Amplify and Pump in high-rise and mid-rise. So lots of little comparisons for you guys today and so many different options. Alphalete really said at their rebrand at the beginning of the year that they really wanted to have those multiple options and they are delivering. So I'll be going over every piece launching, and as always I have everything timestamped for you guys so you can easily skip around. And at the end of the video, if you're just interested in the sale, I will be highlighting a couple sale pieces. The sale will be from 20% off to 80% off, and you can use code Catherine for 10% off on top of that. So even the new pieces launching will be 20% off. All of the prices that I have on the screen for the new pieces will be the sale price with the 20% off plus my athlete code. But we're talking brand new pump leggings for $56 and brand new pump shorts for $40. Black Friday really is the best time. If you haven't tried any Alphalete pump yet, now's the time. Of course, a sale isn't truly saving you money if you weren't going to buy anything anyway, so here's my reminder that if you already have everything you could ever want, feel no pressure to buy from the sale. Alphalete really doesn't mess around with sales, and they really do put everything on sale for good prices. So we have a couple different categories in today's review. We're gonna start off with Aura, then we're gonna move on to Seamless, and then we're gonna finish up with Lounge. So without further ado, let's get into it. If my reviews do help you guys, I appreciate if you give the video a thumbs up, and if you are shopping the launch, to use my code. It does help me out, it does help me keep making these reviews for you guys. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you guys, whether you're just watching or using my code. I always have my monthly giveaway in the description below. You can enter even if you don't buy anything, but you can get extra entries when you use my code. So anyone who's watching right now can literally go enter. Our first category is Aura, and Aura is their most lightweight brushed fabric. So this is going to be good for your low impact workouts. I gravitate towards Aura for my low impact workouts, just days where I don't want to feel super compressed. Here's an up close of the Aura fabric. It's not as thick or brushed as Tenacity, but it still does have that soft brush feel and is very, very high stretch. Starting off with my new favorite Aura piece, we have the Aura Form tank. This one's going to be $35 on the sale. I got a size small, and you guys, we have a high hip built-in bra tank. This is all I wanted this whole year. It doesn't seem like much to ask for, but brands really were not giving us full-length tanks for a long time. So we have a scoop neckline, we have adjustable straps, a high hip length. It does have a slight body contouring fit here, but it doesn't flare away weirdly. There is a whole built-in shelf liner with removable cups, so you do get some shaping and support. In the back, we have the Alphalete tonal silicone branding. This is the kind of branding that we see on all of the Aura pieces today. And because I like to overcomplicate things and compare everything, I'm going to compare the Aura Form tank to the Petula tennis tank. This was going to be my favorite built-in bra tank of the year, but I hear that the Aura Form tank is giving it a run for its money. So comparing them side by side, they have pretty similar coverage up on the top. They're both okay for larger busts. They're not full coverage, they're more medium coverage and lighter support, but for every day, I find them perfectly fine. The Petula tank has more of a V neckline. It's also made of a more dense brushed material. I'd say that the Aura is a little bit more lightweight. They both have built-in bras, they both have adjustable straps. The main difference comes down to the length and the fit. The Petula is about 2 inches shorter and is more waist length, and the Aura Form tank is more of a true high hip length. And I would say the Petula tennis tank also kind of snatches the waist a little bit more, and the Aura Form tank is a little bit more of a body skimming, just kind of goes right over the waist. They're honestly both great, and I will continue to wear both of them, but if you have a little bit of a longer torso, you might prefer the Aura Form tank. So let's try this on. I'm definitely going to need this entire outfit in more colors. Why were brands in such a chokehold with crops for so long that the idea of like a high hip length built-in cotton bra top like this is so exciting. Like, this shouldn't be exciting, but it is. I absolutely love this top. I hate to say it, it's giving the Petula one a run for its money because it's just a little bit longer. And you guys know I like a little bit of extra length. All right, the fit is very true to size. Go with your normal bra size. It is a body skimming fit. You can see I was a little bit nervous about the flare with the waist. It's actually not flaring away and not loose at the bottom. Sure, if I like angle a certain way, there might be a little bit of space. It's just not snatching tight, but the fit is really good. It's also a high hip length, which is my absolute favorite length. The coverage on top, I was worried about it for a second, but I just kind of readjusted and it's a solid medium coverage. I am contained here. I would say it's mostly large cup size friendly. If you have an even larger bust than me, you may find a little bit of spillage, but it's overall medium coverage and low to medium support. The Aura fabric has been around for a while, but I feel like it really shines in like the pieces that you wouldn't expect, like the Aura sculpt jacket and this top just feel perfect in this material. Here's the view from the side, very simple, and I really appreciate that the straps were adjustable because I adjusted them quite a bit. And then the tonal branding really just got me with the branding in this collection. I'm just gonna say it, Aura is better than Tenacity. I reach for my Aura pieces more than I do my Tenacity pieces. And normally I would like a fabric like Tenacity more, but Aura is just that girl for me. So absolutely love this top and I definitely will be needing more colors. Then we have the one Aura sports bra of the collection. The reign of Alphalete itty bitty bras continues with this launch. We have the Aura Access bra. This is definitely a small cup size only bra. It is very tiny. We have the Aura material scoop neckline, that kind of contoured under bust detail. It has the little dart detail as well. This just gives a little bit more of a three-dimensional shape to the bust. We do have removable cup pads and we have a little strappiness in the back. It comes down to a T-back and then splits again at the bottom. I just wanted to quickly compare this to the Aura strappy bra. I actually think that this is a medium, so that's why I got a little bit more coverage, but I do actually think that the Aura Access bra is less coverage than the Aura strappy bra. They are very similar fit and shape in the front with the scoop neckline and the curved under bust, but the Aura strappy bra did have those adjustable straps in the back, which I thought was a pro. So let's try this on. All right, I knew this bra wouldn't work for me. This is definitely A to B, maybe C cup max. I do think it's cute. I just wish we got more large bust friendly bras, especially in the Aura fabric because I love the Aura bottoms. So we have that little contoured under bust area, which is very cute. There is a little elastic along the bottom to keep you secure, but it's a very short line bra. There's no true bra band. You have the little dart detail here, adds a little bit of dimension to, you know, hopefully have a little bit more bust space, but it doesn't really add much. Very wide scooping neckline. I love the tonal branding. I don't mind front and center branding when you're going to be cute and tonal. You can't even see it from afar. Low coverage, don't even need to jog, low support. I would say this is true to size. If you're in between, I probably would be leaning towards sizing down. I have seen some girls size up and then the straps in the back get a little bit loose because they're not adjustable. So just keep that in mind. It does scoop away from the lats in the back and then the straps do come into a T and then split at the bottom. So it's definitely not the large cup size friendly option, but for my smaller cup size girlies, this is very cute. Then we're just gonna talk through these because we've seen them a lot, but we have the Aura leggings. These are going to be $51 and I got my normal size small. We've had these for years from Alphalete, and honestly, the more stuff that comes out, the more I just reach for these when I want a no fuss legging because they have no scrunch or anything. These are my go-to low compression, no camel toe, tall girl friendly leggings. So for my tall girlies, this is going to be the legging for you. These have a 28-inch inseam, so tall girl friendly. The rise is a high to ultra high rise. I feel like it's not super overwhelmingly high. It kind of just settles like almost right above my natural waist, but still in a very flattering area for me. Double thickness waistband, no front seam, extended gusset, and I just like some of the contour seams. I've always liked the little curved seam that goes down the side of the leg that just helps give some shape to the body. Then in the back, we have the tonal branding, curved glute seams, and just no scrunch. This is definitely more of a tall girl, long glute friendly legging in the back. I still give them a medium to high on the booty scale because they still have some enhancing features like the curved seams and everything, but there's no scrunch or anything. But sometimes that is nice. In a world where I continue to get camel toe with every single legging I try on, these never do that to me. These are a lower compression legging and the Aura material does collect some pet fur, but it's not impossible to get it out. Like I can easily lint roll it off. It doesn't like lock it in like some leggings do, but just one of my classic favorites. The Aura shorts are back as well. These are a 5-inch inseam short, same rise as the legging, same features, no front seam, double thickness waistband, some of those contouring seams up the front that go and curve along the side. These I do find thick thigh friendly. They're very stretchy at the thigh. extended gusset, and then in the back, still medium high on the booty scale, low compression overall, no scrunch. Still, these are, again, a high to ultra high rise, so best for my taller girlies. But I really like to wear these to my Pilates and solid core workouts because I just know they don't cause me any problems. And the last restock Aura item, we have the Aura Sculpt jacket. You guys, this is going to be my favorite jacket of 2025. I am already working on my notes for that video so that maybe for once I can finally get it up in January instead of like February. But I love this jacket so much. The older colors of it are even going to be more on sale for Black Friday, and they just restocked those not that long ago. So they almost have full stock, but this jacket is truly so good. So many active jackets look exactly the same, and I just like that this one is a little bit different. So I would recommend staying true to size in this one. I tried to size down to make the waist just a little bit tighter because it's not snatching along the waist, but because it has a lot of structure, it doesn't like look frumpy. But I did try to size down and it was too tight in the arms. So stick true to size. I wear my size small. It is a high hip length, so I never show any skin, but it's not overwhelmingly long. It has a full zip, and the zipper is also a locking zipper, so you can just set it in the down position, and wherever you put it, it's going to stay put. You can also zip it up all the way, and it has this dipped down collar. So if you don't like the mock neck collars that are constantly kind of getting up on your neck or maybe like hitting your face and you just don't like that, I like that this collar just kind of like dips away a little bit. It also has these very sleek hidden pockets, which I love, and we have thumb holes. Then in the back, it's very simple. It just almost feels like a tailored jacket, but it's still very soft and stretchy. I just love this jacket so much. And this new powder blue color is too cute. And the last Aura piece, guys, we have the long-awaited Aura wide leg pants. I hate to say it, these are not going to be launching. Simply because of a bagging issue, they mixed up like the long and the regular length in the bags, which is why some people were trying the lengths and they were like, what's going on? There's nothing actually wrong with them. They just have to fix the bagging issue. So they are anticipating these will still launch in December. I am hoping they still launch at the sale price because I think they've done that in the past when things have launched late from a sale. So fingers crossed on that. They didn't give me the sale price here, but we have the Aura wide leg pant. I am so excited for more wide leg pants. First of all, the combo with the Aura. Form tank, sculpt jacket, and the wide leg pants all together. So cute. So these are made of the Aura fabric, which is the most lightweight, low compression, slightly brushed fabric. They actually lowered the rise on these compared to the Aura leggings. So the Aura legging in the size small is about a 9.5 inch rise. It's that high to ultra high. This is an 8.25 inch rise. So it is about an inch lower in rise. And these hit me actually right around my natural waist. So I still consider them kind of like mid to high. They're higher than the mid-rise pump leggings though. So we have a double thickness waistband, very similar Aura structure on top. You have those contouring seams that kind of come up. You have that curved seam along the side. We have that extended gusset, but in the back things change. We have the Alphalete tonal branding, we have the curved seams, but we have a scrunch. And this is the same style of subtle scrunch that we saw on the Tenacity bottoms. I actually think it works a little bit better on Aura than Tenacity. And then of course we have a wide leg. I just did a whole video on wide leg pants. A couple of things with wide leg pants is they can kind of cling to your thighs depending on where they flare away. The new Alphalete ones are actually pretty relaxed. They're tight on the glutes, but they're not super tight on the thighs. And then wide leg pants can also ride up. So I'll be doing a little ride up test in the try on. But of course, you guys are gonna wanna know how these compare to the Honor Active Soft Motion. So let me just say I am comparing the tall length of the Aura wide leg pant, which is a 36 inch inseam. The regular is a 33.5. That is pretty standard for wide leg pants because they ride up, so you lose a couple inches off the length. And I'll be comparing them to the Honor Soft Motion wide leg bottoms, but I have the regular length in these because I thought the tall was too tall and then the regular is like too short. So keep that in mind for the length. Honor does have a longer version. So comparing the two, I do think Honor Soft Motion is a little bit thinner and a little bit more flowy. I think that the Aura has almost a little more structure to the leg. The leg looks a little bit more trouser-like. Honor also has no scrunch in the back. They both have curved seams, but Honor just has a slightly short back rise seam so that it still sits between the cheeks, but there's no actual scrunch. I think the branding that Honor has is kind of cheaper looking on this one. I just always prefer tonal branding. They do have this embroidered Honor logo, but I think a nice tonal branding would have looked a little bit better. It's just a very basic font, but that is truly not the end of the world. The Honors are a little bit more tight on the upper thigh. They flare kind of like mid to upper thigh. Alphalete flares more upper thigh. I think the Alphalete is just a little bit wider in general down the leg, a little bit more of a slouchy fit. Because of that, I find that the Honors do ride up a little bit more easily. We still get some ride up with Alphalete, but I don't think it's quite as much as Honor. And lastly, I really don't get any crotch tension or camel toe with Honor, and there was a little crotch tension in the Alphalete. So let's try on the wide leg pants. Okay, you guys, I've heard mixed things about these pants. Not everyone likes them, but I feel like the people who don't like them, they don't understand wide leg pants do have some tendencies. All wide leg pants, they do gather at the thighs here. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, the rise is lowered compared to the Aura pants and leggings, not pants, the leggings and the shorts, but I'm still getting like a mid to high. Basically hits my belly button. I actually really like the rise. It also comes up just like a little bit in the back, so it's not low all the way around. It still kind of hides the hip area, so I'm really liking the fit up here. No front seam, and you can see we already have some gathering. We already talked about how that is kind of just a thing with wide leg pants. Go watch my wide leg pant video. We reviewed basically every other wide leg pant. It's just legging physics. When there's nothing to keep the pant from going over the bulk of your thighs, the fabric just wants to come up, but it does come up to a certain limit. And for these, they never come up to the point where they're too short for me. So they are very tall girl friendly. Overall compression is very low. They're barely even touching my legs. These are actually much wider than most wide leg pants. The actual leg shape is quite flowy and wide. And when we look around back in a second, they just aren't super tight on the thighs. I really like the addition of the Aura seam on the side here. Just kind of accentuates the glutes a little bit. And then we have the back. First of all, I absolutely love the tonal branding. The silicone signature word mark is so cute. We have seams that are curved around the glutes, and we have the hidden scrunch. I actually think they did a really good job on this. I definitely think this is medium to shorter glute friendly, where most Aura stuff is definitely long glute friendly. So I do think this is going to fit most people very well. Definitely high in the booty scale. These are like really sculpting the glutes, and they are tight on the glutes, but then as you can see, they almost get loose right below the glutes. So because of that, they actually don't ride up as much as I expected, because they just kind of fall right back down since they're not super tight. All right, full length view here. We can see the flowiness of them. They are a 36-inch inseam. Honestly, I feel like I could do an inch shorter. They are super long, but this is the same inseam as the Honor long inseam. So this is just like kind of what the inseams are. I think if you're 5'8" and above, definitely go for tall. Everything else, go for the regular. And I definitely feel it trying to give me crotch tension from the back, but for some reason, I am just not really getting it. I kind of like pulled the tension to the side, so it all just kind of like went into the gathering here, which is already happening. So I actually can wear these. And some of the wide leg pants, like the Petula ones, caused me such bad camel toe that I really couldn't even wear them. Then let's just do a quick little ride up test here. Couple squats, and you can see a little crotch tension there and just a little bit of gathering, but honestly, not as bad as many of them. These are not a pant that I would wear to the gym. I see people wear these kinds of pants to the gym. For me, they're absolutely a lounge, kind of casual athleisure pant. If you wear these for certain workouts like yoga, they're just gonna like fall right down your leg, and that's just not something I like to have to like adjust during my workout. So let me know what you guys think, but I'm glad we finally have some more wide leg pant options. Lastly, we do have Aura headbands as well. We've seen these before. They have the tonal branding. They're a little thicker in the front and a little bit thinner as they go along the back of the head. And one last thing I'll say about Aura is try to limit in your laundry mixing of bright and dark colors, because for some reason, Aura really does like to attract the colors of other things. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but my first Aura sculpt jacket and this headband did get tainted with some blue. So if you get any new red or blue pieces in this launch and you get any light colored Aura, don't wash them together for the first couple washes. After like 1 or 2 washes, you should be okay, but be careful. All right, our next category is seamless. Starting off with the push bra. So this actually launched recently and I didn't get a chance to try it. This is basically the push tank in bra form, except they increased the bust area a little bit for a little bit more coverage, and they added cup pads. So basically solved the 2 issues that I had with the push tank. So we have a scoop neckline, adjustable straps. It's made of a seamless material similar to the pump leggings. And then we have this underbust contour area that actually gives some compression and almost like a push-up bra effect from the outside of the bra. Here's that up close, and then the ribbed bra band, and then white vinyl branding in the back. All right, side by side of the push bra versus the push tank. When comparing them just laid flat, it really didn't look like there was going to be a lot more coverage on the push bra, but the difference with it on is actually pretty big. I cannot wear the push tank. I fall out literally every single possible way. With With the push bra, I've already worn this to the gym and I was totally fine. I still get pushed out of it a little bit just because of the compression, so I do think it runs just a little bit small. But if you have a larger bust and you weren't able to wear the push tank, the push bra is an improvement. So let's try it on. Okay, here's the push bra. The fit definitely isn't perfect, but I think it's the best bra option that we have in this collection. So I will take what I can get. But even though measuring, it didn't really look like more coverage than the push tank, I'm definitely more covered, and I wore this to the gym and I was able to do my full workout and not have to retuck myself in or adjust anything once. But in the future, I am going to go up to a medium in this one. It's a little tight around the bra band. The straps are a little bit tight and I do get pushed out of it just a little bit. I wouldn't really consider this spillage. It's more like I'm being forced out because it's kind of snug. So true to size mostly, but if you are a larger cup size, I definitely would be sizing up. I also still feel like the underbust contour could be placed a little bit differently just for my bust size, but I think this would be a good top or bra that could have like the A to C and then like the double D plus option. The straps do look like they want to go off my shoulders, but they never once even slipped off. I think just because the straps are a little bit tight. And the support is actually kind of a medium support because it's really being held in. This fabric is very similar to the pump leggings, so it has a lot of compression. It does go up a little bit close to my lats over here. I feel like I didn't notice when I wore it to the gym, but I might just need to loosen the strap up. Again, another reason to potentially size up. Then the back is very simple and scooping. So I don't think it's a perfect fit. I don't absolutely love it, but honestly, it's wearable and I do like to have a matching set. So if you are a larger cup size, this would be my recommended bra. Next, we have the Halter push tank, and I didn't have high expectations for this, but again, it's better than the push tank. So we have a lightweight, stretchy, seamless material. We have a rounded neckline. You have that same push underbust contour area with the PK knit that just kind of helps lift the girls a little bit. It doesn't really do much for me. This is a halter neckline instead of the straight up and down straps that we had with the original push tank, and it is adjustable in the back. It does have a built-in shelf liner, but no cup pads. And comparing this to the original push tank, I do actually get a little bit more coverage, but I think the biggest difference is the length is pretty different. I think it's about 2 inches longer than the push tank. The push tank is very much a waist length fit, but the new push halter tank is more of a high hip fit. So for me, it's a difference of kind of showing a little band of skin with my leggings or being fully covered up. So I really like the new length of this. The bust space looked similar, but for some reason it just is fitting me a little bit better. I still wish it was a little bit more space and I wish it had cup pads, but we are still not there yet. Let's try it on. Okay, tell me why I had zero hope in this top, and it is so much better than the regular push tank. Is it still exactly what I want? No, but the length is better. It's actually a high hip length. So for me, I'm wearing the mid-rise Amplify shorts and we're getting overlap to the point where I'm not showing any skin, which is rare for me. So I love this new slightly longer length. It also doesn't have the weird flare at the bottom that the push tank was doing. And I still don't have as much room as I really need on the top, but I'm falling out a lot less. Like I can actually wear this to the gym, which means I get to wear my scarlet pump leggings with the top. I'm so excited because I thought I was not gonna have top to wear with that. I will say the little push detail that goes under the bust here is fitting a little bit strangely on me just because I have a little bit too big of a bust to actually fit in here. So I'm kind of like squeezing at the side a little bit and it just needs to be lowered just a little bit for me. So it's still better for smaller cup sizes, but I am fitting better in this than the push tank. You can see the push tank, I was falling out in every possible way. All right, and then we have the halter neckline. I do appreciate that it's adjustable and the strap isn't so thin that it's cutting in a really painful way, but I still just don't really love halters. I don't find them super comfortable. I just don't really think they're good for your posture and your neck in general, but support is low. I still will be wearing this definitely on a low impact day. And then in the back, we do have the Alphalete logo. It's in white text, not total branding. And there's also a little compression area at the side too. So definitely love the fit of this. If you felt like the bottom of the push tank was kind of flaring or it wasn't quite long enough, you're definitely gonna like the fit of this. All right, we're getting into our seamless bottoms. So we have, I think, 8 different options for seamless bottoms. We have Amplify and we have Pump. We have Amplify shorts and leggings in high and mid-rise, and Pump shorts and leggings in high and mid-rise. So this is going to be a lot of little details and comparisons, but I just wanted to have like a simple way for you guys to kind of decide what is best for you. So if you like a simpler look overall, you like a little bit more stretch, maybe a not so noticeable scrunch, and kind of a medium compression, go with the Amplify. If you like a little bit more compression, you like more of a dense legging that still has stretch, but you want a subtle glute lifted effect, go for Pump. Then choosing high versus mid-rise. Technically the Amplify they're calling ultra high rise and Pump is just high rise. Don't get caught up in the measurements of the rises too much because certain fabrics have different stretch amounts. So like a 9-inch rise on one legging doesn't mean it's going to be the same rise as a 9-inch rise on another legging. But the high and the mid rise really impacted the glute space a lot for these. So I really think I would base it more off that. If you have a really long torso and you liked like the OG Alphalete rise, you have slightly longer glutes or just kind of bigger glutes in general, and you found that like Pump mid rise maybe didn't have quite enough space in the glutes, go for the high rise. But if you have a shorter torso, shorter glutes, or just smaller glutes in general, mid rise is going to fit a little bit better. And that goes for Amplify and Pump. So I'm so excited to have rise options for the girlies, and also Pump no longer has the front logo. Old Pump, they decided to put the logo on the front, and I told you guys I did not like this logo. I don't like any extra logos. One is the maximum amount of logos I can handle. We already had it on the back, so I didn't need a second one. So for the girlies who waited because they also hated that front logo, it's gone. They got rid of the front logo. Thank you, Alphalete, for listening. Next, if we could just get some more coverage, higher support bras, because truly every bra this year has been a compromise for larger cup sizes, and none of them I've truly felt like this is a bra I highly recommend for larger cup sizes. That would be great. Now we just have one simple logo for Pump, and I love it. All right, we are starting out with Pump leggings. We have high rise and we have mid rise. They're both going to be $56.70 with the Black Friday sale. We've talked about Pump in detail before. This is an old color. I didn't get any new colors in the mid rise. So we have a 3-tiered waistband, no front seam. These are a seamless legging. The Pump is made of a PK knit, and it has this like honeycomb-like structure, which we can see here when I stretch it. Pump overall has more of a high compression, where Amplify has more of a medium compression. Amplify has more of a jersey knit construction, so the knit just goes all vertically instead of that honeycomb structure, and it has a little bit higher stretch but lower compression. And here is that up close. Then we go to the back of Pump, and this is where things get a little bit different. We have that new hourglass scrunch. So it's a very dense scrunch. It's a little bit wider, but it's a little bit less shiny. You still are going to see it in certain lighting. I have like studio lighting on me right now, but it just kind of automatically sits in the cheeks. Then you have the compression under the glute that gives that lifting effect. Here is that under glute compression area. All right, comparing the mid-rise Pump to the high-rise Pump, the rise difference is really only about 1 inch. The mid-rise does sit just kind of right below my natural waist, and the high-rise sits right at my natural waist. So it's not overwhelmingly high. The biggest difference, honestly, comes with the back of the legging. The high-rise has about 1 inch to 1.5 inches more glute space. So if you feel like you just didn't have the glute space in the original Pumps, the high-rise does have more space. I feel like the scrunch sits between the cheeks a little bit easier because there just is a little bit extra fabric, and the underglute compression sits lower. With the Pump mid-rise, the underglute compression sat about like 1 inch on the glutes, which at first I didn't like, and it actually grew on me over time. But having the compression actually on the glute created more of a lifting effect, like it actually lifted the glutes up as Pump is supposed to do. And the high rise is more at the glute ham junction, so it almost creates more of that glute sculpted effect and more like crease definition. So honestly, it's a pretty different look. You guys can make your own judgments, but I really thought I was going to love the high rise more than the mid rise, but I kind of like the mid rise. I feel like I didn't get the mid rise at first, but honestly, I don't have like the biggest glutes. So I think if you really do have just really large glutes, the high rise may be good for you, but it kind of depends which look you're going for. Either way, I think it's great to have both the mid and the high rise option. So let's try on the high rise because we haven't tried those yet. And let me know which ones you guys prefer. All right, here are the high-rise Pump leggings. I think they really nailed the rise on these. It's just honestly a little bit higher than the mid-rise, hitting at my natural waist, not super high above. And I think overall these honestly fit a little bit bigger than the mid-rise. Mid-rise overall, I felt like a little bit more compressed, a little bit more snatched. These are still definitely a high compression legging throughout the leg and throughout the waist. But I think it mostly comes down to the glute space in the back, which we'll talk about. No front seam. One thing I love about any Alphalete seamless, never have gotten any camel toe ever, even though we have a scrunch. So love that. And then we get to the side, and these almost, they do a little more shelving than the pump mid-rise, which I wasn't sure about the glute space of the mid-rise at first, but now I kind of like the mid-rise. And then here we have the back. Honestly, the biggest difference with the pump high rise is really the glute space. They have like 1 inch to 1.5 inches more glute space in the back. The scrunch is just a little bit bigger, but also sits between the cheeks a little bit more. I think I filled these out a little bit better after a leg day. I ran this morning, so we have no glute pump going on, but still super flattering. High compression, cellulite friendly. We already know the pump leggings. High on the booty scale, super flattering, and these I think I measured a little bit longer of an inseam than they said, but very tall girl friendly. So if you're on the taller side or you just have larger glutes, definitely recommend trying out the high rise version. I still think they're super flattering, but they do just kind of sculpt in a different way. All right, next we have pump shorts. We have the high-rise shorts and the classic mid-rise shorts. These were all we've seen in the past. So high versus mid-rise, they also have about 1 inch difference in the rise. The high rise hits me right at my natural waist. Mid-rise hits me a little bit below, just right below the belly button. And we do have some major differences compared to the back of the shorts as well. I think the pump shorts in the high rise fit me better than the leggings do in the high rise. High rise for the inseam, I got a true 5-inch inseam. The pump shorts for the mid-rise, I get a 4.5-inch inseam. So these were always a little bit shorter. They're supposed to be the same length, but you can just tell they do fit shorter. I even measured the distance below the little glute crease there, and it is longer on the high rise. These also again have about 1 inch to 1.5 inches more glute space, but the actual compression area still goes up on my glutes with these shorts. So I still feel like they're a little bit more flattering than the leggings. The scrunch is about 1/2 inch longer. So again, if you have longer glutes, these are going to be for you. I also get a little bit less dipping down in the back because that scrunch is a little bit longer and there's just a little bit more fabric in general that it doesn't do that little pull down. So I feel like the biggest difference is in how it fits in the back with the glutes. But I really like both of these overall. For me, I probably will still be getting a mix of mid and high rise, just depending on how I feel. I never thought I would be a mid-rise girly, but these aren't like so low that they're egregious on me. It's a very flattering fit. So let's try on the pump high rise. All right, and here are the pump high rise shorts on their own. I think that these fit even better than the pump high rise leggings. For some reason, even with pump mid-rise shorts, I just really prefer the shorts over the leggings. I don't know what it is, but there honestly is a big difference, and it's not something I can really put my finger on, but they just kind of fit better. So I really like the rise, small my waist, not too overwhelmingly high, high compression all around. I like how the leg fits me as well. I wore these to a solid core class, and if something is going to roll on my thighs, it's going to be in my solid core class. I did not get any rolling on these because they have the leg compression, but these are also a true 5-inch inseam. So I also like these a lot more than the Amplify shorts, just also because of the length and how the leg fits. Very true to size on these. If you're in between, size up, but the pump shorts, I don't typically recommend sizing up for thighs, although a lot of you guys do say you prefer the size up. I just don't get as much glute sculpting in the size up. And then we go to the side. I do feel like the compression area comes up a little bit higher on the pump shorts compared to the pump leggings, which I actually like. I feel like the leggings almost slipped down a little bit too much. These hit right at the spot where they're not just accentuating the crease, they're actually giving a little bit of lift. So I really like how this fits. And then you just get more glute space in these in the back. You can see the thigh area. It's just kind of compressed all around. It's not necessarily like sausaging at the bottom, but just giving a really nice natural lift. Lots of glute space here going up to a high rise. And I also just feel like the scrunch sits between the cheeks just a little bit better in the high rise. So it's pump shorts all the way for me. Out of all of the seamless options today, these are my absolute favorite. Of course, high on the booty scale, we already know. All right, next we have Amplify leggings. We've seen these a million times. So these are going to be $55. We have that 3-tiered waistband. We have that jersey knit material that has a little bit more stretch to it. It's a little bit thinner. We have that little side panel mesh detail. And then we have that classic thinner 4-column Amplify scrunch, the slight little widow's peak detail, no under glute contour. These are just an OG favorite of mine. So we first saw mid-rise Amplify back in the 12 days of Christmas. I do feel like the fit is a little bit better now. It was almost like a little bit loose in the waist before, but these were a mid-rise Amplify. They just didn't really label them that way. But comparing the mid-rise to the OG ultra high rise Amplify, I don't exactly know what the rise is going to be because I didn't get any of the high rise. I was limited on pieces that I could get, but I would expect like an 1.5 inch difference in the rise. The mid-rise again is going to hit under the belly button, but since these are ultra high rise Amplify, which is the OG fit, they are going to go slightly above the natural waist. So comparing these side by side, I think if you have a longer torso or if you just really like to have a little bit more of your torso covered, go for the ultra high rise. You do see a little bit more of the scrunch in the back just because it comes up a little bit higher, and definitely short glute versus long glute. If you do have just a shorter pelvis overall, the mid-rise is going to look a little bit better on you, but also just comes down to personal preference. You can truly choose whatever rise you want. Also, this is the new mocha and this is the original mocha, so they need to stop using the same colors for different colors because they keep doing this. They keep calling colors the same thing as they used to be, but then the colors are actually different. So if you have any old mocha, it will not match entirely. All right, mid-rise Amplify. I'm glad they finally started labeling the rises instead of just changing the rises and not telling anyone. But I really like how these fit. I think this is a really nice material. It's a little bit marled. Amplify often changes. I think this is a good like medium compression. The waist is high compression still. I'm definitely getting snatched, and I show just a little bit of belly button. So it's almost mid to high rise, but we will call these mid-rise because that's what they call them. I think I would prefer something slightly in between the mid-rise and the ultra high rise. The ultra high is almost a little bit too high, but these, I just wish they hit me literally like 2 centimeters or less higher. With a little mesh panel at the side. Again, no front seam, no camel toe. I never get any crotch tension in my Amplifies. And then in the back, I think having that waistband just sitting right above the glutes makes these very flattering, and you see a little bit less of that scrunch. The scrunch is very thin compared to the pump, and you don't get any glute lifting per se, but the compression and hold on these just kind of hugs all your curves and really accentuates them, and you even get a little cellulite coverage because of the marl in the fabric. If you're ever struggling with the length of your seamless leggings, just pull as much as you can down the leg, and I can basically get a full length out of any seamless legging, regardless of what the inseam is, because they have so much stretch. So I'm glad that we have classic Amplify back. We haven't seen her in a while. I really think the mid-rise is going to be the popular thing of this collection. All right, then we have Amplify shorts. I got the mid-rise shorts, then ultra high rise. I just have an old pair for you guys. So again, similar rise to the leggings. All the features are the same. 3-tiered compression waistband, no front seam, stretchy seamless knit, little kind of mesh panel on the side, and then scrunch in the back. The Amplify shorts are a true 4.5 inch inseam, and they do fit a little bit shorter than the pump shorts. Still super flattering on the glutes without having any actual glute contour. In the ultra high rise side by side, again, it just does go above the waist, a little bit more tall girl friendly, long torso friendly, long glute friendly. Let's try these on. All right, here we are with the Amplify mid-rise shorts. I am feeling a little bit compressed in these. I think it could be the color. In general, with regular Amplify, I do mostly stick true to size. Shorts, when I'm unsure, I definitely size up. I definitely think if you have thicker thighs or just don't want it to be quite so compressive, I would be sizing up. Unfortunately, I couldn't get like every color of the bottoms this launch, but I will say that the black garnet is definitely more compressive than the mocha that I got in the leggings. So we have a high compression waistband and more of a medium compression throughout the leg. So Amplify is definitely on the stretchier side. These are a 4.5 inch inseam, so they do tend to roll more than pump. The pump shorts, they just fit me better than the Amplify shorts. I feel like the compression's a little bit more consistent down the thigh instead of more concentrated on the end of the thigh seam. And the inseam is a little bit longer. So I prefer the pump shorts due to the fit. These are fitting well overall. And then we have that little mesh panel down the side as usual. Then in the back, high on the booty scale as usual. I think I like how the mid-rise looks better in the back because the high-rise, the seam or the scrunch, you see it a little bit more because it just sits up a little bit higher since the rise goes up a little bit more overall. So I definitely like how the mid-rise looks. But Amplify has been around for so long, so I'm just glad we have multiple rise options. I do think the original ultra-high rise of the Amplify is a little bit too high. I prefer the pump high rise that's not ultra-high. They're just small little differences, but I love that they have the different options. All right, guys, we've made it to our last category of new things launching, which is the lounge category. Our Alphalete has delivered some heavyweight sweats for us today. So we're starting out with my favorite piece. We have the staple cargo pant. This is a unisex piece. It only comes in one length. I really think Alphalete needs to start offering the lengths in multiple inseams just because I like having multiple inseam options. But these are a 31.5 inch inseam. They have a unisex relaxed fit. It's a 51% cotton, 48.5% polyester, and these are a heavy duty sweat. So if you just like to feel super soft, cozy, and warm, here is the outside, that classic sweatshirt material, and inside we have a nice layer of fuzzy fleece. These have a high-rise elastic waistband with an internal drawstring, 2 front pockets, 2 cargo side pockets, and 2 back pockets, and these are a wide leg. Then we got some comparisons for you guys because apparently I like gray cargo sweatpants. We have the Trek cargo sweatpants. These launched last year, I think. Maybe early this year. These, I actually liked the material if you like more of a mid-weight and have a little bit more flow to them, but the sizing was a little bit off. I had to size up to a medium in these. Then they were still kind of big, but they didn't have a drawstring. These are also only a 29.5 inch inseam, so they were a little bit shorter. We had the patch logo in the front, so the new branding is a little bit more subtle. These had kind of a more flat elastic in the front and a more scrunched elastic in the back. Similar pockets, but these side pockets snapped and then it didn't have any butt pockets. These were also a wide leg, but they had a little elastic so you could adjust them to be a jogger. I do like the new ones better because we have the butt pockets, which I like, and these just fit better in the waist and the length for me. And lastly, 3 days before I knew Alphalete was coming out with these sweatpants, I caved and bought the Aritzia Sweat Fleece cargo sweatpants. So basically the exact same thing, except the Alphalete ones on sale are going to be $55 and the Aritzia ones are $88. I did get these on sale too, but it wasn't that cheap. So honestly, the material is very similar. These are also a cotton polyester. They have a sweatshirt material on the outside, fleece on the inside, and pretty heavyweight, maybe a little bit less heavyweight than the Alphalete. These ones are a little bit more mid-rise. They don't go quite to the small of my waist. We do have an internal drawstring on these, but it's a loop cord. We have the same pockets, 2 front pockets, 2 side, and 2 back. And these are also a wide leg fit. I think the biggest difference with the Aritzia cargos though is that these do come in 3 inseam options. So I got the tall length, but they also come in a short and regular. So it is nice to have the options. And one last thing, the Aritzia pockets are tacked down on the side. I don't know if you're supposed to like untack them or something, but it is a little bit harder to access the pockets, but they don't just like flap open like the Alphaletes could because there's nothing keeping them down. That was a lot of cargo pants. Let's try these on. All right, these are some of the nicest sweatpants we've seen from Alphalete in a while. I feel like I liked the sweats last year, but they had some sizing issues and I don't know. But this material is really thick and dense and just like what you think of when you want like a nice cozy sweat material. I love the rise on them as well. They're just about a high rise, hitting at the small of my waist. They're staying really well and also very true to size. I would be sizing up if you're in between though, or if you just want like a super baggy look. look because as you can see, I haven't even tied the waistband and they're already just sitting snugly on the waist, not squeezing though. We do have the internal drawstring and it's an actual like tie drawstring, which is nice. Sometimes the loop drawstrings can just get a little bit confusing. 2 front pockets, and then we have the cargo pockets on the side. They do fully open. The Aritzia ones are like tacked down, so it's kind of hard to access the pocket. Just the perfect amount of slouchiness. They're not tight on the glutes, but they're also not giving me a saggy butt look. And then down the legs, they just skim my thighs, but I still have room. We have those pockets in the back. You can lift them up. They're not tacked down. And then the inseam is actually perfect for me. They're just like an inch or less off the ground. So I would say these are tall girl friendly. If you want them even taller, size up and kind of wear them, you know, low on your hips. But if you are shorter, just keep in mind there's really nothing you can do about the height here. It only comes in one length. But yeah, I really like these. They're super warm, super cozy. One thing I will say though, because of the fleece on the inside, if you wear like a dark color legging underneath these, they will shed onto them because they do have that really fuzzy fleece lining. But that usually stops after like a wash or two. Just keep that in mind when you first get them. All right, then we have the staple crew neck. This is another unisex fit made of the cotton polyester heavyweight sweatshirt material that is lined with the fuzzy fleece. We have a crew neckline, a tonal silicone logo in the front here, a little ribbed area at the bottom, ribbed cuffs. This is kind of a longer unisex fit. I think the material on these is really nice and reminds me of the OG Alphalete sweatshirts, but for some reason I just like the OG Alphalete sweatshirts a little bit more. I think I just liked the fit of them a little bit better. And the one time that I am okay with some branding is on a sweatshirt. I feel like especially a crew neck like this, like a little branding can be cute. But if you're more of a subtle, no branding girly, they got you with these. All right, the hoodie. This one is definitely oversized. I don't know why I call this a hoodie. It's not a hoodie, it's a crew neck. Do I wish we had some zip hoodies? You know I do. Okay, so I would say this one is more true to size for a unisex fit. Unisex leaning towards like a men's fit. This is definitely oversized. It feels like I'm wearing like a solid medium, maybe even large sweatshirt. So keep that in mind. It's gonna be very oversized. The length is quite long. If I pull it down, it's going all the way over my glutes. My hips are up here, but it does have the little ribbed band along the bottom. So it can sit along the hips. I do like a crew neck from time to time. I feel like I just don't like them when they're this long. It gives me kind of like a weird fit down here. It's just kind of like flat and then just kind of mushrooms a little bit at the bottom. So for me, I don't really love this fit. I do love the material though. It's quite warm. I'm actually filming this first in my lineup because it's gonna get warmer throughout the day and I can't be filming this in 75 degrees. All right, we have a crew neckline. I like how the branding is very subtle. The sleeves have plenty of room. We have ribbed cuffs along the sleeves as well. And then the back is just very simple. I'm not really sure why I decided to go with this color. I feel like I just didn't want to get too much gray because I'm always getting gray. And while I actually do love the Anchor color, for me with cats, Heather Gray is the absolute best color for me to go for because you can't even see the cat fur on it. So I did have to like lint roll these really quickly before filming because just like existing, I'm already getting stuff on them. So yeah, it's cute, but definitely more of a unisex fit. And when it comes to me for sweatshirts, I do like a more high hip, kind of more, slightly more feminine fit. Then we have the staple jogger. These were just existing next to the gray sweatpants and now are covered with little gray flecks, so be aware. So I got these in a size small, and again, these are a unisex fit. These are a pretty high rise, and they're also a 29.5 inch inseam, which is pretty long for a jogger. So if you're on the shorter side, these will be baggy around the ankles. Same classic cotton polyester materials. So none of these materials have any stretch to them, but they are relaxed enough in the fit that I didn't really feel like I needed any stretch. I do like to have stretch at times. I just am not really a big jogger person. Elasticated waistband, drawstring, front pockets, and little cuffs at the end. Let's try them on. All right, we got the joggers. I definitely prefer a wide leg and I just feel like the cargos are just a little bit cuter. But in terms of the rise, so these are a size small. And I definitely feel like if you were, since this is unisex, for the men, I would definitely be sizing up. But even for women, if you just want a slightly oversized fit or you're in between sizes, I would be sizing up. The leg room, plenty of leg room. So that's actually really nice because it used to be whenever I would try joggers, they would be loose on the waist and too tight on the hips and the thighs. And now I have plenty of room in the thighs, but the waist could actually have more room considering there's a drawstring. So we almost have like an ultra high rise going on. So these are quite high. We have front pockets, external drawstring. which I love. We have the elasticated waistband, almost a little bit of a smocked look there. Very simple, nothing going on in the back. The branding is also super subtle, which I love. And then full length view. These are quite a long inseam for a unisex jogger. I think it's definitely more aimed towards the men than the women because this is already like a little baggy around the ankles for me, and I'm 5'9". So I wouldn't recommend these really if you're short. If you do get them and you're short, just know you're gonna have quite a bit of room around the ankles. Overall, I love the material of these and I do like certain features, but I'm just really more of a straight leg sweatpant girly at the moment. So these just wouldn't be my pick because of that, but they're a solid jogger. Material is a nice mid to almost heavy weight and just super warm, cozy. There's no stretch to them, but they have enough of a baggy fit that it's not restricting me in any way. And last, but certainly not least, we have the women's fleece jacket. This piece is one of my favorites. It is so cute and so soft. So this is a polyester spandex fleece. It actually does have a little bit of stretch to it, and it's not your typical fleece. It's also not Sherpa, but it has this almost fuzzy appearance, and it's very soft, and I also feel like this will make it a little bit more pill prone compared to a normal Sherpa fleece. So we have a full zip, we have zippered pockets, we have drop-in pockets on the inside. The waist can be cinched with the little draw cords at the hem. We have a little mock neck collar, elasticated cuffs at the sleeves, and simple in the back. This comes in this cream color and black, but I wish it came in more colors. Let's try it on. Okay, guys, this fleece, I desperately wish this was coming in more colors because I love this. This is what I was talking about when it comes to a fall launch. This is what I wanted in our October launch, but we're finally getting it. I love these. It's only coming in cream and black, and I'm kind of devastated. It would be really cute to have this. Imagine this in the black garnet color. We wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. Okay, so because this one is not unisex, it's actually a women's fit, I just feel like it's so much more my cup of tea in terms of a top. I'm just very picky about how my tops fit. I don't like them to be too long. So here it is open. This is a size small. I do still think it's slightly oversized, but just a little bit. I wouldn't size down. It just feels like half a size more roomy than a normal small would be. Just wanted to show on the inside, we do have some drop-in pockets. So the pocket selection is also so good on this one. We have those drop-in pockets and we have zip outer pockets. The crew neck had no pockets, and for me, a zip pocket is really important in a jacket. So I love that these zip up nice and secure. I also like the tonal zipper. It just feels very luxurious, and also the tonal branding. Not in your face. Like, thank you. I think overall in this collection, the branding is super minimal, which I just absolutely love. It just really elevates everything. Like we still know with Alphalete, but we don't need to be screaming it from the rooftops. In terms of the length, my hip bones are right here. So it's just very slightly, I would say mid hip length. Again, perfect length because I still have quite a bit of coverage with my leggings underneath. Here's the fit before I do the little side ties. I have been liking doing the little cinch with the little bungee cords just because it kind of gets it to sit right at that high hip. So you tuck that in a little bit and just kind of sits high hip, which is my ideal length. So we have a little collar as well. This is also pretty warm. Again, I would say it's a nice like heavy weight. It's not your traditional fleece, but it's also not the Sherpa style fleece that can kind of pill over time. It's almost like a little furry fleece. So I feel like this is going to last a long time. I have worn it a couple times already and I'm not getting any signs of wear. We have our elasticated cuffs, roomy sleeves, and then again, very simple in the back. I absolutely love this. I will definitely be wearing it all winter. And this is just absolutely a top pick. I love it so much. One last note about the fleece, it doesn't shed on your clothes underneath, which is nice because the sweatshirts will shed a little bit, especially before you wash them. All right, guys, I lied saying that was the last section because we have accessories. They have the thong 3-packs. I've never been a huge fan of the Alphalete thongs. I feel like the edges roll because they're just very thin. So I did not get any of those. I did get the Nulla Scrunch socks. These come in a 3-pack. And I thought that these would be very bulky. I'm not a big fan of the Buff Bunny scrunch socks because they're just very bulky and I have big calves, so I don't tend to like to add a lot of volume to my ankles because it just kind of creates cankles. But the Alphalete scrunch socks are a lot less voluminous than the Buff Bunny ones. Here's the Alphalete and Buff Bunny side by side. The Alphalete is almost more just like a regular crew sock, and Buff Bunny definitely does have that like kind of sweatery, extra floofy material. So I will actually wear these and get some use out of them. I think I just like their classic kind of half crew length the best, but if you want a little bit more length, we have scrunch socks. Then we have the Voyage backpack. We had the Voyage crossbody, the duffel, and now we have the backpack. Just very sleek. It's made of this matte faux leather. You have the Alphalete logo in the corner, very subtle. We have a zip pocket in the front that has some drop-in mesh pockets. We have the main pocket area that is pretty spacious, and then you have zip pockets there as well as some more drop-ins. Water bottle pockets on the side. There is a hidden padded laptop compartment. The back has padded straps that are adjustable as well as a luggage pass-through. All right, you guys, we've made it to the Black Friday section of the video, and for this part of the video, Peach has decided to be on my lap. Say hello, Peach. She's purring. I have her setting on a pair of my heather gray sweatpants because those are peach fur friendly. Okay, for the Black Friday sale, it will start the same time as the launch, so noon Central Time on Monday, November 17th. The entire website will be 20 to 80% off, and you can use code Catherine for an additional 10% off at checkout. The brand new pieces that are launching will be 20% off plus 10% off with my code. The newest collections will be the least percent off, and the older pieces will be the highest percent off. When I looked on the website, I didn't see a ton of pieces, but if I go on the app, I see a lot more pieces. So I hope that inventory stocks on the website, but I will ask to confirm. So there's going to be a couple sale buckets. We have the 20 to 40% off category, the 50 to 60% off category, and the 70 to 80% off category. I'm going to be going over a couple highlights in each of those buckets. So in the highest percent off category, the 70 to 80% off bucket, this is all pretty old pieces with a little bit less stock. Honestly, the best pieces in this category have most of like the fringe sizes left, so just keep that in mind. But everything in this category is between $5 to $20, so very reasonably priced. Cheap, if you will, very cheap. We'll have OG Amplify in the 4.5-inch inseam shorts for $8 and OG Amplify leggings for $12. Both of those ultra high rise Amplify pieces I reviewed today are those old colors that will be on sale. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is left over from the crazy Black Friday sale last year. So anything that's still here, again, didn't go last time, but again, still super cheap. Then we have Amplify and Revival bras. This was back when Alphalete did more large cup size friendly seamless bras. I would consider both of these large bust friendly. I don't fall out of either of them. They're honestly pretty good seamless bras, and those will both be at $9. And then there will also be old colors of the Aura shorts, the same Aura shorts that will be launching in this launch, just in older colors, and those will be $11. Next, we have the 50 to 60% off category. Honestly, this category is pretty good. You have some older stuff, but some stuff that is honestly not too old, and 50 to 60% off is still very good. Ice tanks for $13 and glass tanks for $17. These are the seamless tanks from Alphalete. Keep in mind, these are pretty low cut tanks, so it's really more for a layering moment. You will show the sports bra that you're wearing under them, but I still really like them as tanks. The KDM zip long sleeve top, I actually really liked this one, especially the long sleeve version. It was a little bit more long line than the short sleeve version. It has a zip up, it has a full shelf bra, and this one is $26. The basics will also be between $15 and $20. I really like the basics tees. I wore it the other day out to dinner with some jeans and got a lot of compliments on it. I do prefer to size down in them, or else they're just a little bit loose, so I just like the fit in a size down, so I recommend going down a size. We also have my favorite Elements jackets. You guys know I have two of the Elements jackets. I wear them all the time. They're my favorite like looser style jacket of the year, and they're going to be $28. They're kind of picked over in certain colors, but a couple of the colors still have good stock. So I love this jacket. It's almost made of like a scuba neoprene material. It just has the cutest shape, and I get compliments on it every time I wear it to the gym. And then Tenacity wrap shorts and wrap leggings will be at $19 and $28. I do recommend sizing up in both of those. And lastly, we have the 20 to 40% off category. We will have Lena bras for $27. I'm wearing the Lena bra right now. It works for me as a larger cup size, but it's not super large cup size friendly. I definitely have a little bit of a cleavage moment, but it's super cute and I love the back. The old colors of the Aura Sculpt jackets will be $38. And like I said earlier in the video, those were literally just restocked recently. So get yourself an old color of the Aura Sculpt jacket for less than $40, true to size. If you like the black garnet color of the Amplify leggings and shorts that just launched in this collection, but you don't like the bra options, the Amplify contour bra in black garnet is fully in stock and will be on sale for $28. And I do actually like that bra better than the bra options we have here. So you save yourself a little money and you can pair it with a fresh pair of leggings. Certain pump colors like Emerald Green and Sahara still have a lot of stock, and those leggings will be $44. The Tenacity Core bra, one of my favorite bras of the year. It actually had a nice secure lower bra band that just really worked. Again, could the coverage be a little bit increased? Yes, but I really liked this top. It's going to be $23. The Revive shorts, I forgot about Revive, guys. I hope Revive comes back because I might even like those better than Pump. The Revive shorts are so good. They're a high rise, not too overwhelming. The waistband doesn't suffocate you. And they say they're a 5-inch inseam, but every time I measure them, they're actually a 6-inch inseam, and they have the most subtle little glute contour area that's not in your face. It just gives like a little extra compression and lift. So subtle, so cute. And those will be $27. And lastly, there will be some $20 baby tees. So every single piece will be on sale. If I can link the entire file for you guys of everything on sale in the Dropbox, I will down below so that you have everything. But those are kind of my highlight pieces for you guys. All right, and that is everything. As a reminder, you can use my code Catherine for 10% off on top of all of the sales that are going on. And the sale is all starting on Monday, November 17th at noon Central Time. I also will be working on my annual Black Friday sale list. I hope to have that up very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!